Good afternoon, Dean Wichtel, OVC 2020 Ruby Rhinos, members of OVC faculty and staff, fellow veterinarians, families, and friends. Welcome to the Ontario Veterinary College's virtual Veterinarian's Oath ceremony for our graduating class. While we are a close community, if we haven't met yet, my name is Joanne Hewson, and I am the Associate Dean, Students and Academic at the Ontario Veterinary College. I will be our MC for today's ceremony, and I'm excited to be a part of this important milestone and honor today for our graduating class as they formally enter the veterinary profession. At times like today, when emotions run high and we all come together to celebrate, it is an important time to also pause and ground ourselves through reflection on our place in this world. The University of Guelph resides on the ancestral lands of the Attawandaron people and the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. This incredible college, where we work and connect, and where our graduating rhinos have spent the past 4 years studying their craft, is rich with heritage and history of our Indigenous peoples. We recognize the significance of the Dish with One Spoon covenant to this land, which is centered around the understanding that we all share our resources and must steward them as partners. We offer our respect to our Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Métis neighbors as we strive to strengthen our relationships with them. Today, this recognition and reflection on the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples of this land is our reminder to always seek to understand the heritage, history, and lived experiences of those that came before us and those that walk beside us in our daily lives. Today's Veterinary Oath ceremony is the first of its kind for OVC, a virtual gathering where hugs and photos together are not possible, but the excitement and sense of pride in our graduates is by no means diminished. We have brought you back to the front steps of OVC as an important place at our college where you have celebrated and captured memorable photos from many of your momentous occasions leading up to today. Likely from your first tour of OVC before you applied, class pictures when you got your first lab coats, class jackets, hockey jerseys, and your white coat. And now today you are back at OVC virtually to celebrate on these steps once again. I do need to acknowledge that we are on the corner of a busy intersection, so please forgive the background traffic, and if a fire truck goes by with sirens blaring, please know that we will pause to resume when the moment has passed. You are here in our virtual environment with your fellow Ruby Rhinos, many faculty and staff, and most likely many of your personal family and friends. While the chat function has been disabled, Elizabeth Lowinger will be monitoring and facilitating the Q&A feature, where you can send congratulatory remarks to your fellow rhinos. Before we launch into our program for this afternoon, I want to first pause to sincerely thank the team of people who have worked so hard to ensure that this day and these celebrations are the highlight of the academic year at OVC, despite the COVID-19 pandemic and the ways in which our world has changed in recent months. The team that has tirelessly worked to bring this afternoon's ceremony together are Jane Dawkins, Elizabeth Lowinger, Karen Mantle, Amy Tremaine, Cynthia Faubert, Ashley Martin, Sandra Valeriot, and Scott Mokia. We are also in the very capable hands of our videographer, Kevin Hogg. On behalf of our OVC community, the Ruby Rhinos, and family and friends who are here with us today, a very sincere thank you to this team for making this virtual event possible today. As we open today's event with the virtual procession of our OVC 2020 graduates from the DVM program, awards were also listed on the slides for those rhinos that were award recipients. The presentation of these awards would not be possible without the great generosity of our donors. They have not only given funds to the university to recognize our graduates' achievements, they have invested in the future of veterinary medicine, and indeed the future of our province and our country. The significance of that cannot be overstated, and we thank our donors very sincerely for having done so. Our graduation awards recognize members of the OVC community who have made outstanding contributions to it. They are being honored for a wide range of accomplishments: academic prowess, empathy, compassion, dedication to patients and their human families, and for their contributions to the betterment of others, whether that be their fellow colleagues, the college, the veterinary profession, or the local or global community. Our graduates are incredibly talented, devoted, and passionate veterinarians, and they are unstoppable in all that they do. Today's program includes several speakers who are keen to share warm wishes and congratulations to our graduating class, the OVC 2020 Ruby Rhinos. I'd first like to share this message from our University of Guelph President, Franco Vaccarino. President Vaccarino completes his presidency on August 1st, so it's particularly exciting that he has been able to share today with our DVM graduates as fellow Griffins.
Congratulations, graduates of OVC's class of 2020. We are so very proud of you and your accomplishments here at the University of Guelph. You are part of a 158-year legacy of OVC graduates who found their passion for improving life through medicine, caring, science, and community. Best of luck as you start the next chapter of your lives, and don't forget to stay in touch.
I would now like to invite the Dean of OVC, Dr. Jeff Wichtel, to the podium to address the OVC 2020 Ruby Rhinos. Dr. Wichtel.
Thank you, Dr. Hewson. Good afternoon, Ruby Rhinos, and welcome to everyone today that's joining us under these most unusual circumstances. Rhinos, it's such a pleasure to recognize and help celebrate the conclusion of your academic journey at OVC, graduating as a doctor of veterinary medicine, and even more so when we have families, friends, and supporters joining us from across the country and around the world, albeit in a virtual environment. And I want to join with Dr. Hewson in thanking the team that's made this possible. I'm sure as a participant and viewer, it seems easy, but my goodness, I know what's gone into it. So thank you all. As teachers and staff at OVC, we feel truly honored to have been permitted to guide you on your journey while you've been at OVC. Looking at you today, you are competent doctors, compassionate humans, critical thinkers. We know that our profession is in good hands and you're ready to take on the world. Rhinos, you have truly enriched our community while you have been with us. But you are graduating at a time which seems unsettled. It's true, it is. But you should not be concerned that your skills won't be needed. Society needs more of OVC and more of what veterinarians can bring. In fact, you have the skills to help assist society with many of its most pressing problems. You can predict, prevent, and treat disease. You can ensure a safe and wholesome food supply at a reasonable cost. You can enhance the human-animal bond for the well-being of all. You have a lot of skills that you can bring. And what's more, you can fight for social justice to ensure that humans and animals all have access to care when they need it, wherever they need it. You are leaders and you are problem solvers. And you have a lot of problems to solve, I'm sorry to say, but you have all the skills and attributes you need to be successful. We could not be prouder of you. Later on, I will be leading us in the veterinarian's oath, so I'll see you in a little while.
Thank you, Dean Wichtel. At this time, I now invite your OVC 2020 class presidents, Doctors Megan Weiser and Solomon Schroeder, to join us virtually to address the class. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join us today as we celebrate the graduation of the class of 2020. On behalf of the Ruby Rhinos, Megan and I would like to extend a special thank you to everyone who has supported us and helped us reach this milestone. To the deans, faculty, hospital staff, and cafeteria ladies, thank you for your patience and continued guidance as we developed into the newly graduated veterinarians we are today. To our honorary class presidents, Dr. Chalmers, Dr. Chenier, and Dr. Joy, thank you for going out of your way to support our class and make our experience here at OVC memorable. To our family and our friends, thank you for lending an ear and cheering us on through an intensive 4 years and all of the years that were leading up to it. We truly could not have done it without you. To the class of 2020, I think we can all agree that we're as unique as a red rhino, and that's for multiple reasons, and for many OVC firsts. Now, we might be remembered as the first ever DVM class to not have to write the MCAT, but we're also the first to graduate without having to write their fourth-year finals. Now, what a great way to enter the program, and an even better parting gift. No, but in all seriousness, we do want to thank the faculty and deans for looking out for not only our best interests, but also our health and well-being during these unprecedented times. Now, it's also possible we'll be remembered as the first class to be taught lectures in wellness and resiliency as part of the curriculum. Now, not only is that a very fun dinner party fact, it's also a lesson. It also will serve us to have these lessons as we enter into a profession in which empathy, emotional intelligence, and understanding are essential skills to have.
So, perhaps we will be remembered as the class to have the fewest number of male students, but more importantly, the highest number of female students. And as a final addition to the list, we are now the first class to have a virtual graduation ceremony. Regardless of the curveballs thrown our way, this does not diminish the quality of the graduates we're celebrating today. To our colleagues, looking back on the past 4 years, we have so much to thank you for. Thank you for the meaningful contributions you have made to our class through participating in events, raising money for charities, and always showing up however you could. It's tough trying to come to terms with the way our final year ended. For many, rotations were cut short, and we were unable to celebrate the end of a long journey with our classmates. Many of us were left feeling as though we did not get the closure we expected. Although we were unable to celebrate traditionally, this experience has challenged our resiliency and proven our ability to adapt. The last 3 months has required us to slow down, take time for ourselves, and reflect on the past 8 years before looking ahead to the profession we are about to enter. This has served as a reminder to celebrate the little things, revisit what we once enjoyed outside of vet school, and reconnect with loved ones. Not many individuals are given the opportunity to slow it all down before embarking on their careers. Naturally, we see graduation as a time for taking the next step, setting new goals, testing our limits as new grads. But the power of self-reflection remains unmatched. So, as a final message to our class, we hope you use this time to remember there is so much more to you than being a veterinarian. Hold your heads high with that DVM degree, but remember the other parts of you that also make you human. Set aside time for yourself, rediscover old passions, and have confidence in your abilities moving forward. Take pride in how far you've come, how prepared you are for the next chapter, and remind yourself that you have everything you need to be the type of veterinarian you intend to be. Congrats to the class of 2020, Doctors of Veterinary Medicine, the Ruby Rhinos.
Thank you, Saul and Megan. It is great to hear from you today and to virtually see you again. You've been tremendous leaders over the past 4 years, and your contributions to our college have been very much appreciated. We have some additional people who are eager to address the OVC 2020 Ruby Rhinos. Up next are 2 of your honorary class presidents, Dr. Tracy Chenier and Dr. Andrea Joy, who are both proud and excited for you, but also sad to see you move on from OVC. First, I will invite Dr. Chenier, honorary class president from Phase 2, to make a few comments. Dr. Chenier?
Hi guys, can you believe it? Here you are. Wow, those 4 years just flew by. I am so incredibly proud of each and every one of you. Think back to when you first knew that you wanted to become a veterinarian, and here you are. All that hard work and sacrifice, countless hours studying, reading, practicing suture patterns on your daisy, practicing cow palpation. As you now head off into that great unknown called practice, take pride and take comfort in knowing that you are prepared. Have confidence in your knowledge, your training, and your skills. Over the next 6 or 12 months, there will be many times where you doubt yourself. Okay, go into panic mode is maybe more appropriate. The learning curve in the next months will be a steep one. That first emergency call on your own in the middle of the night. Maybe it's a blocked cat, a hit by car. Maybe it's a cow calving, or a horse colicking, or even worse, a mare dystocia. I encourage you to take a deep breath and remember your years of training. You are prepared. You do know stuff. Have confidence in yourself and your abilities. Those first few months in practice will be among the most challenging of your life. Use your support system, your boss, your colleagues, your technicians, and your families. You will make mistakes, we all do. Use those mistakes as opportunities for learning. Train yourself to always look for better ways. Challenge dogma and be innovative. I challenge you to take everything you have learned and to take this opportunity you have earned to make a difference, not just in your life or in the lives of the animals that you treat, but make a difference in the communities that you will now call home. It is with great pride that I now call each of you a professional colleague. Congratulations, Ruby Rhinos.
Thank you, Dr. Chenier, and I'm sure the rhinos agree that your jersey is filling them with great pride today. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Andrea Joy, Honorary Class President from Phase 3, to also give a few words. Dr. Joy. Hello. Congratulations. I want to congratulate you on successfully completing your studies here at the Ontario Veterinary College. I miss seeing you all, but I'm very grateful to be able to share this time with you today. I want to tell you what I remember about your class. Your class was always friendly and very personable, and this is will be important in your future careers, as we are a people profession as much as we are an animal one. I always looked forward to working with you, and I am sure your future team members in practice will look forward to working with you as well. They will look to you for guidance and leadership, and you have these qualities. You put in so much effort, focus, and time to achieve all the work in school as well as outside of your courses in activities such as College Royal, the clubs, and your sports teams. And this in turn made OVC a better place for your peers, for your public, and for the faculty. I will always remember your compassion for people and for animals. My wish for you is to always have the motivation to learn. You may feel right now that your brains are just filled up, but aren't really quite sure what you know until you are put to the test. As you start your careers, embrace the small steps and the excitement of putting those puzzle pieces together. I believe you will be able to use your knowledge and critical thinking skills to solve all the complex problems that your patients, clients, and career will present. Let this fuel your passion to clarify the knowledge you have, the passion to learn new information, techniques, and solutions. I believe you can do this because I've seen you do it while you were here at OVC. I'm very proud of all of you, and thank you very much for this opportunity. Take care, guys. Thank you, Dr. Joy. OVC 2020 Rhinos, it is time to hear from your valedictorian, elected by the class to speak about your OVC experience and to celebrate this day. Dr. Solomon Schroeder, congratulations on this honor. I invite you to join us virtually once again to give your valedictory address. Solomon?
Good afternoon, again, distinguished guests, OVC deans, faculty, friends, family members, uninvited internet hackers, my mother Sonia, hi Mom. Thank you again for attending this virtual celebration for the OVC class of 2020. I want to start off first by addressing my colleagues. I am extremely humbled to have been chosen as your valedictorian amongst so many other incredible graduates in a class that's filled with strong, powerful women and 7 great guys. It's an honor to be speaking to all of you today, even though we're doing it virtually. And I promise that I will still sneak in a couple dad jokes amongst my anecdotes. And I guess for the second time, not hit the mute button, at least not on purpose. Now, whether you're dressed in your Sunday's best or just your sweats or even your brand new hospital scrub sets, today is about celebrating you. You've put in that hard work, and yes, Rhinos, we can now deservedly call ourselves doctors. And it has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Now, before we look back on our last 4 years, I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize those that have made our class's experience here at OVC a meaningful one. To our deans, both past and present, for having invested your efforts into the betterment of our education as well as our well-being, we thank you. To the faculty, clinicians, for teaching us invaluable lessons and also prompting us with differentials when we didn't really know what was going on with our cases, we thank you. To the vet techs and ACAs that kept our 8 a.m. treatments on time before we rushed off to morning rounds, we thank you. To our honorary class presidents for going above and beyond what was expected of you, and also for helping us to grow into the veterinarians that we are now. We thank you. And last, to the cafeteria ladies for starting our mornings off right with a hot cup of coffee and a have a nice day, dear. We thank you. And on more personal notes, I'd also like to thank my co-president, Megan, for being an incredible person to work alongside these last 4 years. And to a friend and colleague I am lucky to have, I thank you. And a special thank you to my fiance, Emily, for being my rock and source of unconditional and unwavering support. I thank you. Now, if the last 2 months have taught us anything, it's that we need to slow it down and take time to reflect. So, seeing as we're the first class to ever receive lectures in wellness, I think it's pretty fitting that we look back on our 4 years with a guided mindfulness exercise. So, close your eyes, or keep them open, no one's going to really watch. And let's go back to first year. All right. Imagine yourself on a roller coaster. Yes, a roller coaster, just trust me on this. Imagine yourself on that roller coaster, and phase 1 was you finally getting to the front of the line. No longer did you have to wait in anticipation for your turn, being tormented for months by the ringing of that MMI bell. No, now you are at the front of the line and you were accepted to OVC, one of the best vet schools in the world. You strapped into your seat with excitement, you put on that blue coat, you clicked in that stethoscope, and you were ready for it. For some, maybe you felt a bit apprehensive, or that you didn't belong right away because you never really liked roller coasters. But once that ride got going and it slowly climbed, those feelings slowly started to go away. The strangers that sat beside you in 1714 became your friends. You decided to get up and perform your heart out at the first ever and now an annual lip sync battles. Maybe you laced up your skates and challenged fiercely in the Challenge Cup. You witnessed the birth of the infamous Sexy 7 and got a surprise Valentine's Day card from the boys. And by the end of that first year, roller coaster still climbing, you were 25% vets, and you wore that vet jacket with pride. Then phase 2 hit, and you entered what I like to call the loop-de-loop section of the program. Months and months of consecutive Monday tests had you feeling like you were going in circles. Salmonella serotypes, cat scratch fever, estrus cycles, drug compounding. Oh man, that was a lot. But you rolled up your sleeves, you put on that coverall sleeve, you put on that rectal sleeve, and you got through it. You finished that 3-day pod exam, and for some of us, a summer abroad, volunteering with Global Vets. 50% there, much like our class radiology average. Phase 3 told a similar story on this DVM roller coaster, 100+ lecture slides of cat dog, differential lists and treatment plans for every species imaginable, and to top it all off, the dreaded third-year finals. But we got through that, and this is where it all started to click and come together. You began performing your first spay and neuter surgeries, even life-saving surgeries at College Royal on teddy bears. And in the end, your hard work was awarded with your white coat. Many cups of coffee later, and you were 75% vets. Then enter into your clinical year. This is the year that we've all been waiting for in anticipation to apply what we learned to real-life cases. That stethoscope you started with is now more than just a fancy piece of jewelry. It's a tool. And with growing confidence, you decide on this roller coaster, just like you did in rounds, to put your hands up because you know it. You know the differential, you know that treatment plan. Sure, you might not know everything, but little by little, day by day, you were becoming the veterinarian that you wanted to be. Perhaps in the end, the ride for us wasn't the smoothest, and you feel a bit undercooked. I leave you with this. As you leave the watering hole and head off to into the profession, remember to cherish the moments that you've made together. Yes, you will always be a Ruby Rhino, but you are so much more than that now. You are veterinarians, and yes, you are doctors. Be a catalyst for change, celebrate diversity, push for progress, take time for yourself, empower each other, and support your colleagues beyond these 4 years. And because you've heard enough of me speaking, and I can do it, I'd like to end with a toast to my classmates, that no matter where you're off to next, you're a rhino. Everybody knows you've got 1 tail, 4 feet, and 12 toes. Cheers, doctors.
Rhino, everybody knows you got 1 tail, 4 feet, 12 toes. Mr. Rhino, look what grows. 2 big horns on the tip of your nose. Now you got 3 friends, Mr. Rhinoceros, elephant, buffalo, and hippopotamus. You got 2 bad eyes.
Thank you, Saul. I'm sure your class has had many emotions stirred as they remember their OVC experience alongside you through your words today. OVC 2020 Ruby Rhinos, I am now going to invite Dean Wichtel to lead the Veterinarian's Oath, an honor bestowed on veterinarians to acknowledge our commitment to animals, people, and our world. Ruby Rhinos and any other veterinarians that have joined us virtually today, we ask that you please stand as you are able and take the veterinarian's oath that you have been provided and recite the oath alongside with us now as we observe this important moment for our graduated OVC 2020 class together. Dean Wichtel.
Thank you, Dr. Hewson. It's an honor for me to lead the oath. Please recite along with me. As a member of the veterinary professional, I solemnly swear that I will use my scientific knowledge and skills for the benefit of society. I will strive to promote animal health and welfare, prevent and relieve animal suffering, protect the health of the public and the environment, and advance comparative medical knowledge. I will perform my professional duties conscientiously, with dignity, and in keeping with the principles of veterinary medical ethics. I will strive continuously to improve my professional knowledge and competence and to maintain the highest professional and ethical standards for myself and the profession.
OVC Class of 2020. I'd like to close by focusing on your journey as an OVC Ruby Rhino and where that journey will take you next. You came to us with an identity, a sense of self, and some impressive plans for your future. You joined your classmates 4 years ago and began to expand that identity by becoming a Ruby Rhino and by building a sense of class community that has grown and reshaped itself over the past 4 years to who you are now as a member of this class. You worked together through many hours of lectures, labs, exams, intramural sports, social events, and simply by living your day-to-day lives together. Your class gelled together through the shared experience of navigating the DVM program, both the formal curriculum, but also through your extracurricular connections. You each chose your path forward outside of the classroom, and your experiences over the next 4 years greatly shaped who you have since become, all leading up to a sense of who you are as an OVC Ruby Rhino, all leading up to a sense of who you are as a person too. As your family, friends, loved ones, mentors, colleagues, and peers, we have been given insight into your sense of class community through many events along the way, such as Family and Friends Day, your white coat ceremony, and now at your veterinary oath ceremony. Looking back on your final year in particular, I suspect many of you experienced a sense of loss of this rhino community, lurking in the emotional background as you embarked on your final year of training, despite your excitement over the opportunities you'd crafted for yourself through your selection of internal and external rotations over this past year. Loss of that closeness with many of your classmates. Loss of sharing in the lived experience of the class. Indeed, there are some fellow rhinos here that you did not see for weeks or months at a time, even before COVID-19 turned our world upside down and forced us physically apart. And now you are graduating and will see them even less. But does this make your class identity any less meaningful? No, your identity is strong and will stay with you for many years to come. I myself still proudly identify as an OVC Lynx. Are you proud to be an OVC Rhino? Moving forward, will you carry that pride with you? Often at this stage, ending your DVM program training, you are relieved to be done, honestly, quite tired, and can very clearly remember the hard work, the more challenging times, perhaps even some injustices that you needed to find your way past in order to be here today, entering the veterinary profession as an OVC Ruby Rhino. But can you also remember your accomplishments? Those times when you put in your fullest effort and were rewarded, not necessarily with a grade, because learning is so much more than that, but with a sense that you had learned, you grew, you developed on your path towards becoming a veterinarian. Or even on your path towards becoming the person you are now, beyond that part of you that is a veterinarian. Clearly, you have traveled a long path of personal and professional growth from that first orientation week in September 4 years ago up to now, where you enter the profession as a veterinarian. How will you frame your memory of that journey? Will you see your cup half empty, focusing on the pinch points? Or will you see your cup as half full, with the potential to become even more full because you are still on that journey of growth even today? Will your eyes sparkle when you look back? And will you carry pride forward about your class and your college that you graduated from? I can promise you that you will have self-doubt in the coming days and weeks, as Dr. Chenier has already said. You will, at times, lack confidence in your abilities, perhaps feel overwhelmed by your new burden of responsibility, and indecision may paralyze your ability to respond in the moment. What better time for my final lesson to you? Actually, it's not really a new lesson, rather it's more like a review lab at the end of your program before the ultimate OSCE called life. Ruby Rhinos, I can stand here and tell you that you are ready, but much of your success going forward will depend on your ability to believe in yourself, that you are able to meet any challenge, whether it be the first weeks or months out in practice doing everything for real for the first time, or further down the road as you consider a career change, practice ownership, returning to grad school, navigating relationship or family crises, or whatever it is. If you maintain a growth mindset where you frame your lens to focus on your ability to adapt and grow, you will successfully navigate change, but you will also be resilient in those moments of failure, and you will be comfortable with who you are as a person. Ruby Rhinos, today marks the day when the student becomes the master. Almost immediately, you will be training the next generation of student veterinarians. You may have an externship student with you in the coming weeks, a member of your veterinary team at your practice seeking advice from you, or a high school volunteer in your clinic spouting aspirations that someday they want to get into vet school. How will you nurture each along? What role in the veterinary profession will you take to ensure that future student veterinarians have the opportunities to learn all that they will need to be ready for their career? Day to day, you may mentor them, but even greater impact will come from you also staying connected to the training they will receive in their program. Which brings me to my final advice for today. Give back. Be proud of the OVC you graduated from, and take care of your college. Beyond your personal identity and your class identity as a Ruby Rhino, own and grow your OVC identity as well. Become an active alumnus, mentor our students, participate in giving club talks or wet labs, help with admissions MMIs, establish class bursaries or awards, or host students at your practice. Do what you feel is needed to keep our college on the right path. The other way to give back is through staying connected to the college and using your voice of experience beyond graduation to give us feedback on how to keep our program and our college strong. By staying connected, you can impact how the curriculum evolves to respond to the changing needs of the profession and of society. In the coming weeks, you will hear from us asking you to update us with your current contact information so that this mechanism of staying in touch remains effective. We will be reaching out periodically too, asking for your feedback as we consider the evolution of the training we offer. Your input into this conversation is key. Please ensure we know how to stay connected with you so that you remain a strong member of the OVC community in the years to come. Every good lecture ends with a recap of what you've just learned. So here's my recap. OVC Ruby Rhinos, have faith that your pathway of learning at the OVC has prepared you both for your today and your tomorrows. Be resilient. Have a growth mindset that you do have the inner resources to face change. Know that change is an opportunity for you to become even better yet. And quite simply, believe in your inner capacity to achieve great things. The student has become the master. You now share the responsibility with us for training of future veterinarians. Stay in touch with the college to help us continuously evolve our program. and be proud of who you are today as a person, as a Ruby Rhino, as an OVC alumnus, and as a Guelph Griffin. And please always remember, as you take care of others, be sure to take care of yourself first. I'm going to steal the closing from Dr. Peter Conlon, who traditionally ended each ceremony for the graduating class. This bell was the time signal at the multiple mini interviews. And so for most of you, it was the sound that marked the beginning of your OVC journey. I will ring it now to bring our ceremony to a close and to mark the beginning of the next step in your veterinary career. Wherever your path takes you from here, on behalf of all of us at OVC, I wish you every personal and professional success in the years ahead. Congratulations, Ruby Rhinos. I'm going to miss you.